Hello friends, and welcome to my channel if you're new, or welcome back if you're back. If you are new, hi, my name's Rabbit and my pronouns are they, them, and either way, thank you so much for clicking on my video today. I have tried to film this video already like 2 or 3 times and I just keep starting over because getting back on YouTube feels so unnatural since I haven't filmed for like a month anything, and I just feel all weird and terrified and anxious and all these horrible feelings, and I don't even know where I'm going with this whole video. So I have like some notes on my laptop, but I just wanted to kind of pop on here and make something and explain why I've been gone for so long. And long story short, I got burned out. That's it. If that's all that you wanted to know, then you can exit the video here. But if you are interested in like the details, I'll try to explain and elaborate and talk about these things because maybe it could help you too, or maybe someone else is feeling the same way out there. But I have to be honest, the feelings and experiences that I've had for the past couple months have been so discouraging and have been something that I like really never felt like I would experience. That sounds so stupid to say, but I always felt like burnout? Yeah, sure, like other people get that, but me, I'm just built different. I can just like go super hard, work 24/7, and nothing bad will happen to me. And apparently that's not the case, and I'm absolutely furious about it. But I guess it was like kind of a reality check that I needed. But I just feel like I took a enormous giant nosedive and now everything is like gotta pick up the pieces and get back together and like start things again, and it just all feels really terrifying. So I guess if you want to hear about that, feel free to stick around. I'm gonna like talk about what happened, the emotional side, where I am now, and things that have been helping. But it's gonna be a huge horrible ramble and I don't know how much this video will be edited, so fingers crossed and stick with me if that sounds like of interest to you. What happened? Okay, so basically, this feels like a million years ago, but I had a wonderful October. I did all my beautiful vlogging and crafting and all my wonderful things, and then what I lots of times do in November is like catch up on stuff that I want to do for the next year October. So I was just like filming and crafting and making stuff to prep for like 2025, all in November. And then in December I was making a bunch of handmade Christmas gifts for like my partner and my family and like everyone, and I just kept being like, you know what, I have these things that I'm working on right now, but as soon as January hits, I'm gonna start my Patreon and I'm gonna have a shop launch and I'm gonna like be more consistent on YouTube again. But for now, like I'm just kind of working on things and like it's okay. I have a plan and I'll stick to the plan, and that was the idea. Then in December at some point, like late December I guess, I got really physically sick, worse than I had gotten in a really long time. I'm fine, it's fine, it was whatever. I think it was just like some kind of flu, but it was just like, you know, when you're like muscle aches and eye aches and like you can't do anything, and I kept just like trying to work while I had it because I was like, you know what, like I'm sick but I can like still like make rosaries or like do some embroidery or like do some patches, and eventually I just was like, no, I have to just like lie down and sit on the couch and just like let myself rest through it. And I think that like trying to work while I was feeling so physically not good was not great. But then I feel like I was just like, okay, so I need to rest. And I did so much resting, I feel like, that it threw me off all my routines. And once I was finally better, I was like, I've just spent the last week like sitting on the couch and napping all day and having a weird horrible sleep schedule and just watching television and just being like, I'm sick, so like I'm excused from life's responsibilities. And like being out of the routine for a while made it so much harder to get back into it that I don't even know. Like, I don't know if this is an excuse, but part of me is just like, you were so exhausted from going 24/7 because pretty much before this time, I'd wake up in the morning, like do my skincare, do my chores, and then just work on creative projects until dinner, and then eat dinner, and then work on creative projects until the evening, and like occasionally take a walk. But like, it was just like, if we're not walking, we're working, and if we're not working, we're cleaning, and if we're not cleaning, we're cooking. Like, we are always doing something, and it always has to be productive, and like whatever. And I was always just like, that's just how it works for me, that's just how I'm happy. I just tend to have a lot of energy naturally, and I feel like it's kind of like the objects in motion stay in motion, and objects in rest stay in rest. And when I was resting, it felt like so hard to get back into routine, to get back into doing anything, like both emotionally and physically. I remember like when I was starting to feel better physically and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna like sit down in the craft room and just work on some rosaries, because it's just like wire bending, it's just like stuff with my hands, it's really easy on the rest of my body. And I was just completely exhausted the entire time. And normally when I do creative projects, once I'm finished them, I get this like little like spark of joy of being like, yay, like how exciting that this is done, and now I have this thing that I made. And like you know, like sometimes it doesn't turn out perfect and then like that's a different story, but generally when you finish a creative project and you like the result, it's like this satisfying feeling. But I was just making like rosaries and I was like, I don't know, I made like 20 and none of them are like feeling, you know, anything. And like I was trying to sit down and draw designs for patches and stickers and stuff that I was thinking of for Patreon, and just like nothing was coming to me. And this is super embarrassing, but I was like filming a bunch of stuff for like future YouTube, and I would like get up and like film my intro or my outro or whatever, and then just like burst into tears after, because it was just like so emotionally overwhelming. And I was like, literally, what the F is wrong with me? Because I've never been this person who gets just like overly emotional over nothing, who like can't do just like basic things. And it was like, I've never dealt with depression, and I've never been able to relate when people explain like not being able to get out of bed and not having that creativity or that passion or that like interest in stuff. But like for the first time in my life, I was like, oh my god, is this what people are talking about when they talk about like those depression feelings? Because it was like so rough. And one thing that I didn't really realize would impact my self-esteem so much was just that I find so much of my identity as a person in being creative, and I like think of myself as like, yeah, a person who is creative and an artist. Like that sounds so stupid to say out loud, but like, yeah, when I like look around, I'm like, yes, I like colors, I like creating, I like collecting and like making and doing all these things. And not being able to feel that joy when I was creating and collecting and or mostly trying to create, it was just like so alienating from myself. And I was just like I have no inspiration for stuff. I would like try to do the things that normally bring me inspiration, like flipping through beautiful books and like looking at references and like listening to music or watching movies that like I'm like, oh my god, this costume is so beautiful, I'd love to like recreate it in a doll or like make a room out of it or like something like that. And just nothing was hitting for like quite a while. And I don't know. And Cage was like, you have to rest, you have to just like let yourself chill, even if you're not like physically sick, you just apparently need that, I guess. And so it just felt like in my everyday life I wasn't getting my chores done, I wasn't getting my routine done, I like didn't put on makeup or get dressed or like take showers that consistently for like a month. It was just, I felt gross every time I looked in the mirror, like I don't know. And then every time I did think about like filming a video or like whatever, it just felt like such a huge hurdle. And it was like anything that I do needs to be perfect and needs to be good, and like I'm just like not there yet. And like this idea of like what people are expecting from me, which is insane because no one ever, like, you guys are so nice on YouTube, and I even got like so many nice comments that were like, oh my god, Rabbit, early, like, you okay, like we haven't seen you in a while. And I was just like, I know, I'm sorry, I'm burnt out, like I can't. And like it's just rough because when I quit my job at the Cat Cafe and stuff, I was like so ready to like be like a full-time artist and have my shop launches and like do my Patreon and do all these things and like be consistent on YouTube. And the fact that like I wasn't able to keep that up was just like such a blow to my self-esteem and my belief in myself, and like all of these doubts of like, oh my god, like did I F up, and like can I actually not do this, and like, but luckily I was there with Cage and my family and people who are so supportive and were like there for me and stuff. So I was insanely lucky to have that, but I just felt like behind on everything because as soon as January hit, I was like, I don't have my Patreon that I wanted to start by now. I don't have anything like ready for my shop launch. I don't have anything ready for anything. And I decided to give myself permission to just work on a creative project just for me, just to kind of like shake off the feelings of uncreativity and like try to do something new. And ever since Cage and I had gone to the miniature museum in Victoria, I'd been really fascinated with miniatures. And while I was sick, I was watching a crap ton of like medieval kind of inspired movies, and was really in this like romantic, like dragons and fairies and mermaids and medieval princesses and knights and dragons kind of mood. So I ended up making a bunch of miniature diorama rooms of like little medieval sets and things. And originally I just started with one, and then it turned into, I think I ended up with 4? 3, 4, something like that I'll have a video about eventually. So I got really into making miniatures all of a sudden while in January, because I just gave myself permission, and it ended up like being a project that I originally was like, I'm just gonna take like a week to do this, and it ended up taking like the entire month of just like completely consuming me and like finally feeling like, oh my gosh, like I have a creative like interest again. And it was like so amazing to wake up in the morning and be like so excited to get to work again. So it's been amazing, but then it's also been this self-doubt of like, but these little dioramas and stuff that I'm making right now are just for me, and I'm not like gonna sell them or anything, so I like feel really guilty because I'm not like in money making mode, and like that's not good, and like whatever. So then I decided, since I'm really enjoying making the miniatures, I'm gonna make some for my next shop launch. So I have 8 that I'm working on right now, but they've been taking so much longer than expected, and I don't think it's actually because it's like difficult. I think it's just because of like the still working through the burnout, and it's been stressing me out so much, and it's just like I need to stop beating myself up and being like, oh my god, like my stupid brain, like I'm only able to do like one of these in a day. I should be like, oh, despite the difficulties that I'm having with my brain, I was able to do one of these today. What a accomplishment, right? So trying to reframe that and like be kinder to myself has been a struggle, but having been feeling more like myself in the creative ways has been really helpful. And I've been trying to get back into my routines, and going on a walk every day with Cage has been so helpful, because when it was the winter, I live in Canada and it just gets so cold, and my daily walks, I just don't want to do them in the winter, so I just didn't. And I think that also really contributed to feeling low and down, because I was just like sitting inside all day crafting stuff and not talking to anyone except for Cage and my cats, which honestly is like kind of my dream, but understandably mental health might not be super at its peak when you're like staying inside and not getting any sunshine and not getting any exercise and like whatever. So yeah, where I'm at now is that I've been trying to get back on the routines. Cage has been really encouraging me to be gentle with myself, which is so hard for me, but I really appreciate him being there for me and just like encouraging me to take things slow. But like I just feel like I've been taking everything too slow, and I need to like get back on it, and I just like haven't been on it enough, and like whatever. But I am making this video as a first step. I know it's not perfect. I'm guessing it's probably not even good, but I needed to do something, and I wanted to just like let you guys know that I'm not going anywhere. I'm fine, everything's fine. I appreciate so much all of the sweet comments and thoughts and everything in my weird absence. I'm sorry about my disappearance, and I promise I'm not quitting. I need to figure out a pace that works better for me, and I really want to get back to my once a week uploads. I want to get back to my shop launch. I want to get back, like there's so many things that I need to just like sort out, and everything just feels like an enormous hurdle, and I just have so many to-do lists, and everything feels insanely difficult. But enough complaints. This video is the first step. I'm also going to try to like vlog daily again to like kind of keep on track and keep myself accountable and stuff. I want to say thank you so much for sticking around. I don't know if it's helpful because I don't even feel like I'm out of it yet, but if you are also dealing with similar things to burnout, could you share things that have worked for you, and then I will share the things that have worked for me in this little section, even though I'm not even fully out of it yet, so I don't even know how relevant or helpful or accurate this part is going to be, but I made some notes. 1, goals and deadlines has been like kind of a double-edged sword, because part of it just feels like this incredible like pressure pushing down on me, but also it feels like a necessary thing to get progress moving. So setting myself some gentle goals and some gentle deadlines has been really important. Yesterday I was able to finally format my hard drive, which means I can finally make videos again, which has been something that I've been putting off for months because my other hard drive is full and I need to format this one, but it took me like 2 days to figure out how to do it, and it was just a whole mess and a struggle, but whatever. So yeah, and like I did other stuff, like I did my taxes, that was like a deadline thing, and like making this. I've been working on my like little miniatures and whatever. The other thing that has been so hard for me, but I need to remind myself constantly, is just done is better than perfect. things are never gonna be at their perfect point, so just like letting myself move on and be good enough to move on and like that kind of thing, reminding myself of that has been very important. Celebrating progress as hard as it is for myself, because all I want to do when I like have an accomplishment, like yesterday I finished painting some of my little miniature furniture that I was making, and all I wanted to do was beat myself up for not having done more. But instead of doing that, I think I need to restructure that and be like, good job for doing even that little bit despite the fact that you were struggling. Like, yes, it sucks that you couldn't do more. No, don't even say, yes, it sucks that you couldn't do more. Just say, yes, good job on the thing that you did do, because eventually that's going to be more motivating than constantly beating yourself with a stick about what you didn't get done. Taking breaks, as much as I hate to admit it, is apparently a thing that I need to do. Because when I was talking to Cage about like what kind of led to the burnout, he was like, do you think that maybe like waking up in the morning and working from morning to night could be potentially contributing to the fact that you got burnt out? Because even like sometimes he'd invite me out to do things, like he'd be like, oh, my friends are having dinner or doing this or that, and I'd be like, oh, I'm gonna stay home because I should work on XYZ creative project instead, and like I would not allow myself to go out other than like for like short walks every day or like do chores and like stuff like that, because I was like, no, like the work is more important, I have to do the work, and like the only person who's gonna do the work is me, so I have to be on it all the time, 100%, which was not, I think, conducive to not getting burnt out, which led to the burnout. There we go. That's a better way to say it. Yeah, so unfortunately taking breaks is something that I have to allow myself to do, as much as that pains me and I hate to admit it. So both my parents are really creative people, and I had gone to talk to my dad about this burnout experience that I'd been feeling, because I was like, maybe he's dealt with it too, and I doubted he had, because I was just like, no way. And I went to talk to him and I was like, hey, have you ever dealt with burnout? He's like, no. I was like, frick, okay. And it sucks because I really thought I was immune, and it sucks so much to find out that you're not this like perfect work machine who can take no breaks and have no social life and just be like in your little art corner like producing all day. Like the fact that that's not a realistic thing is a harsh reality check, and I really hate it, but apparently it's true. So that sucks. And then lastly, visualizing things being done, visualizing the next project, visualizing like how good it'll feel to get things done. That's been really helpful for me. And also reminding myself that I'm the only one who can do it. Like, no one else is gonna make my little miniatures for me. No one else is gonna paint them. No one else is gonna make the structures. So even if I don't know how to do it now, I gotta figure it out, and there's no way around that. So that kind of is a motivator for me, even though it sounds kind of, yeah, I don't know, that's always been me. So, I don't know if those tips help at all. I don't know if hearing about my experience with this helped at all. I am just, yeah, so disappointed in the fact that this is a real thing that exists and people weren't just lying about it. I was just like, no, like, that won't happen to me. So hopefully I recover quickly and get back on the horse and etc, etc. And hopefully this is a good first step. And yeah, I'm sorry if this video wasn't helpful at all, or if it like was more frustrating or whatever. I don't know. I'm just trying my best, and I want to say thank you for sticking around. I don't really have much else to say other than I hope you're kind to yourself, and I hope to catch you in the next one, and I hope the next one is sooner rather than later. Thank you for your patience. All right, bye for now.